Shalom Israel. Shalom Yahweh. Shabbat Shabbat to all the brothers out there. Shalom Yahweh. Shabbat Shabbat to the sisters out there. This is ISUPK, Louisiana Sabbath service, coming out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Hunter. Not hearing from the ISUPK under commanding General Hunter, you are not in the truth. And we are not affiliated with any Hebrew Israelite group that's out there. We are self-contained. There's been a lot going on out in the world. We got still got the forest fire. We got this heat wave going through and everything. War. As they used to say, the last days are coming. The last days are here already. They ain't coming. They've been here. It's been showing signs about what's going on. But last week it was on Joseph. And this week we're gonna talk about Joseph going to see his brothers again. Well, he probably been in Egypt so long, thought he'd never see them again. But that's what we're gonna touch on. We're finna get it started. Just some margins just up here. Like Sharala, based to Israel. Quiet down, quiet down, turn to face the east. This is the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayah. Kodash. Hayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malakbuka. Taba'ah. Hatazaka. Hayah. Shah. Baratazah. Kawa. Hayah. Bashemayah. Nathan Lanawa. Lakam. Ka. Yawam. Wasalat Lanawa. Kawawah Lanawa. Hasalat Nawa. Kawawath Yanawa. Wala'ah. Tabaya'anawa. Banasiyawan. Abal. Hawashanawa. Mayan. Rai. Kaya. Laka. Amalakwa. Wahala. Wadapara. La'awalayam. Amen. In English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. And forgive as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever so be it. This is our constant power. Yahweh Ba'ashem. Yahweh Shabbat. The Founder now. Akash. Larapah. Kamalat now. Wakamadava. Hakash Lata. Hamatazariah. Hakash. Lahakwayam. Hamathayam. Hakash. Irwakawa. Atamala. Hagarsha. Bashim. Yahushai. The water Amen. In the English read, Yahweh in the name of Yahushai. Please give us the power. Power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. Cast them out.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it.
Bless Israel in Hebrew. Yahweh Ba'ashem.
Yahweh Ba'ashem.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Barak Lanawa.
Barak Lanawa.
Wayasharala.
Wayasharala.
Wayabadiyah.
Wayabadiyah.
Saparium.
Saparium.
Barak. Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
The water, amen.
The water, amen.
English read. Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us.
Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us.
And Israel.
And Israel.
And the school.
And the school.
Bless, heal, shield, protect.
Bless, heal, shield, and protect.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it.
Blessed in Hebrew. Barak Athawa Yahweh.
Barak Athawa Yahweh.
Why Yahweh Shai?
Why Yahweh Shai?
Wama Yakala.
Wama Yakala.
Wa'ayam. Wa'ayam.
Wa'ayam.
Natazabaya.
Watazabaya.
Alawap Yamana.
Alawap Yamana.
Alawap Yam.
Alawap Yam.
Alasaraya.
Alasaraya.
Katazaya.
Katazaya.
Adiyayal Yam.
Hayayam.
Wa'akakyam.
Wa'akakyam.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
The water, amen.
The water, amen.
And the English read. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael,
Yahweh Shai, and Michael,
and the angels,
Commander
General,
the
generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so
Yahweh,
be
in the name of Yahweh Shai, so be it.
Psalms 121 in Hebrew. Asha, Ayayana, Aharayu, Ahayan, Yabah, Azariah, Manil, Yahweh, Asha, Shabaya, Warataza, Ayato, Lamawat, Wagaka, Ayanawa, Shabaka, Hana, Ya'a, Yanawan, Yala'a, Yashana, Shawamah, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazaka, Yamanka, Yawaman, Hashamash, La'a, Yaka, Wayarash, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makarai, Yashamar, Napaska, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazafaka, Wabawaka, Bata, Wa'al Awalam. In English, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills.
I will lift up my eyes unto the hills.
Whence coming my help?
Which coming my help?
My help coming from the Lord.
My help coming from the Lord.
Which made heaven and earth.
Which made heaven and earth.
He would not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He would not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee
will keep thee.
Will not slumber.
Will not slumber.
Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Behold, the keeper of Israel shall not slumber or sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
Nor the moon by night.
Or the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee.
The Lord shall preserve thee.
From all evil.
From all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
The Lord shall preserve thy going out.
The Lord shall preserve thy going out.
And thy coming in.
And thy coming in.
From this time forth.
From this time forth.
Even forevermore.
For even forevermore.
Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayam. Adamaka. Al-Tashara. Al-Tashakwat. Al-Kaya. Hana. Hawayaba Yaka. Yahama Yawan. Ra'ah. Ma'aka. Ya'arayam. Sabbath. Why you thought Yataz Zazawa?
Why you got the Tazawa?
Tazapaya one ya. I'm a wa. La Kawa. Wanakaya. Magaya. Wala'a. Yazaka. Sham Yasharala. Awada. Kaya. Na Watazawa. Naba. Yakawa. Yaka, Maya, Yakatwa, Ahaya, Adawan, Wayashama, Allah, Yam, Mawaba, Wahagarian, God, the ball, Wabanwa, Awamala, Palasha, Alabanya, Nawat, Shayabaya, Tazawa, Gambashawa, Nalawa, Aman, Hayawa, Zerawa, Labanya, Lawat, Salah, Asha Laham, Kamayan, Kasaya Yasara, Kayabyan, Banakau, Kawashwan, Nashababa, Bayandara, Hayawa, Aman, La Adama, Shayatama, Nada, Yamawa, Kara, Kwaya Zaba, Wakatazal, Mana, Kadasayatma, Asha, Amawa, Nayashara, Lanawa, Ata, Naatwa, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Kagaga, Kakwash, Lapanya Rakwa, Ka'a, Tabara Yaw, Wakala Ba, Talahat, Harayam, Karan, Taradamapa, Basara Ra'aka, Wabasa, Wapaka, Labahalam, Mala'a, Payaham, Palawan, Waya, Bakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabahawa, Adiyai, Wayakapawa, Wayabawa, Wayadawa, Kaya, Ata, Shamka, Yahawa, Labaka, Ayawan, Al-Kahara, in the English. Keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace.
O God, thy peace.
Be not still,
Be not still,
O God.
O God.
For lo, the enemies make a tumult,
Lo, with the enemies of tumult.
and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They that hate thee, they have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
They have taken crafty counsel against our people,
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
and so against our other ones.
They have said,
They have said,
come, let us cut them off from being a nation,
let us cut them off from being a nation.
that the name of Israel should be no more in remembrance.
The name of Israel should be no more remembrance.
For they have consulted us together with one consent.
They have consulted us together with 1%.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom,
The tabernacles of Edom,
and the Israelites,
and the Israelites,
Moab,
Moab,
and the Hagarenes,
and the Hagarenes,
Baal,
Baal,
and Ammon,
and
and
Ammon,
Amalek,
and Amalek,
the Philistines,
the Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
the hands of Tyre.
Ashur is also joined with them.
Assured also have joined with them.
They are hoping the children of Lot.
They are hoping to cheer the lot.
So do unto them as unto the Mennonites.
Do unto them unto the Midnites.
As to Sarah,
As to Sarah,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of Kisan,
at the brook of
which
Kisan,
perished at Endor,
as an
they
Endor,
became as dung for the earth.
that came done
Make
for
that nobles like a rib,
no black real,
and like a Z.
and as sea,
Yea, all the princes of Zabah,
they are the princes of Sabbath,
and as Zamuna,
and as the moon,
who said, let us take to ourselves
who said, let us take to ourselves
the house of God in possession.
the house of God of possession.
Oh, my power,
Oh, my power,
make them like a wheel,
make them like a
as a
wheel,
stumble before the wind,
stumble before the wind,
as a fire burneth the wood,
as the fire burns the wood,
and as the flames set the mountains on fire.
as the flames of the mountains on fire.
So pursue them with thy tempest,
Disperse them with thy tent,
and make them afraid with thy storm.
make them afraid of thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with
that
shame,
they may seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
Overpower.
Overpower.
Let them be confounded and troubled.
Let them be confounded and troubled.
Forever.
Forever.
Yea, let them be put to shame.
Yea, let them be put to shame.
And perish.
And perish.
That men may know that thou,
That men may know that thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
whose name is alone is Yahweh,
art the most high over all the earth.
and most high power of the earth.
These are curses. Listen, you are Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment, destruction and death to the heathen that speak against thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction and death to the heathen, and shake loose the pockets of the rich of Israel that refuse to get to the school. Force their riches to enter to thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction and death to the Edomites and the nations and the drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek, synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, posse comitazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies working with witchcraft, that's the space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us and bring swift death to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the terrorists. Cause them to go to and through the earth and destroy it. Cause the terrorists to come against America and destroy them in their strongholds. Let America shake at the hands of the terrorists. Let Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and kill all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause it to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you so be it. Yeah, like I said, we was going over, we're gonna dive deeper into what Joseph did, you know. Like he said, he was sold into slavery by his brothers, you know, but the Lord was with him. He ended up being over the captain of the guard house, you know, over his whole household, over all his property. But, you know, they didn't last too long, you know, because the wife started having eyes for Joseph. So, you know, wanted Joseph to be with him. You know, Joseph, you know, wouldn't be with him. You know, she was a married woman. That was somebody else's wife. And so she grabbed Joseph one day and he left his garment in her hand. He just took off and went on about his work. And when the husband got home, she was lying and said, Joseph had been with her, you know. He tried to be with her and she screamed, you know, and the rest of the men can't see what was going on. So he ended up locking Joseph in prison. And, you know, while he was there, you know, Pharaoh's chief butler and chief baker ended up coming in and they had a dream. And they told it Joseph, and Joseph interpreted dreams. We know Joseph having dreams, but we didn't know he could interpret and read too. So he interpreted their dreams. He told the butler that he was going to be, he was going to be back at his post. He going to have his job again. He told the baker, you know, his dream meant that he was going to be hanged. And sure enough, you know, he told him, you know, he told butler, you know, remember me when you go before Pharaoh. So, you know, when they went before Pharaoh, the butler ended up getting his job back, and the baker was hung. And but he didn't remember Joseph. So, you know, some time passed, you know, when the Pharaoh had a dream. And nobody in his whole kingdom could interpret the dream. And that's when the butler finally remembered Joseph. So he told Pharaoh about, you know, he met a man off in prison that could interpret dreams. So he called for Joseph, you know. And Joseph told him, you know, it was going to be a famine in the land. So, you know, it was going to be 7 years where you could harvest food and grow food, and there's going to be 7 years where you couldn't. So, you know, that's what Jerry, you know, he just let him know it was going to be a famine within the land. So he put Joseph in charge of everything, you know, gathering all the food, You know, so now this time, this is when the Pharaoh done came. You know, Genesis chapter 42 and verse 1. It said, now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his son, why do you look one upon another? See, now, by this time, you know, the famine has spread all through the land. All through the land. And there, you know, people looking for food, and Joseph, you know, who heard, hey, they got no corn up in Egypt. And the son looking around, also, we're gonna find food for him. Like, man, why y'all looking at each other? Hey, it's corn up Egypt, you know. He said, and behold, verse 2, and he said, behold, I have heard there's corn in Egypt, get you down hither. And buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die. So he's telling them, man, go on up to Egypt and get some corn. For we won't die. You know, we need food. Verse 3. And Joseph's 10 brothers went down to buy corn in Egypt. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not with his brethren. For he said, let's peradventure a mission before him. Now, and I'll read this. I wonder why, you know, say like Joseph and Benjamin was a favorite, but I come to read on, you know, them children he had by Rachel. That's why he loved, you know, remember he loved Rachel. He, you know, he didn't care for Leah too much, you know, he didn't care for Leah, you know, and the rest of them was by the handmaid, but you know, his favorite children was won by Rachel, you know. Let's see here, and this is verse 5, and the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. So the famine spread all the way down where they was, you know. And verse 6, and Joseph was governor over the land, and it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brother came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth. Verse 7, and Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them, and he said unto them, whence come ye? And they said, from the land of Canaan to buy food. Now, all this time have passed. These years are passed. Joseph recognized his brothers, but his brother didn't recognize him because, you know, most likely he looked more like an Egyptian than a Hebrew now. After all this time that passed, you know, he probably all lined up, you know, all clean shaven, you know, haircut bald, you know, with a little lock on the side, you know, all that, you know, he don't look like Hebrew, he look like Egyptian. And then he was, you know, talking to him, you know, talking to him roughly, you know, not more like how Joseph would speak, probably speak softly to his brother. See? And in verse 9, Joseph remembered the dreams which he had dreamed of them, and said unto you, you are spies to see the nakedness of the land, you are come. Verse 10, and they said unto him, nay, my Lord, but to buy food are they servants come. Now, don't you remember the dream? He told them, said, how they stalks, I think it was buying his sheaves, and they sheaves pay the beasts to him, and that's what they doing right now. They buying. They said, you're gonna be Lord and Master over us. And that's what happened. That dream came true. They buying down to him, you know, because he's the governor. He's second only to Pharaoh. Mm-hmm. They said unto him, nay, my Lord, but to buy food are thy servants come. We are all one man's son. We are true men. Thy servants are no spies. 12. And he said unto them, nay, but to see the nakedness of the land, you are come. Verse 13, and it said, thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not. And Joseph said unto them, that is it that I spake unto you, saying, you are spies? So now you're playing games with him. You know, you're just playing with him. He acting like he don't know him, but really he happened to see his brothers. But he's just playing with him. He acting like like he ain't ready to tell him, hey, this is Joseph. He ain't ready to tell him that. So Joseph said unto him, that is it that I spake unto you, saying you are spies. Verse 15. Hereby you shall be proved. By the life of Pharaoh, you shall not go forth hence. except your youngest brother come hither. He started talking to us, hey, you ain't gonna be able to go nowhere till you bring his younger brother. See, this is Joseph, baby brother, just him and Rachel, let me see, Joseph and Benjamin is Rachel's children. This Joseph having his old age. That's why, like I said, that's why he loved so much. Joseph was his favorite because it was by Rachel, and Rachel was his favorite wife. This is verse 16. Send of you and let him fetch your brother, and you shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh, surely you are spies. And he put them all together into ward 3 days. And Joseph said unto them the 3rd day, this do and live, for I fear God. Verse 19, and if you be true men, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye carry corn for the family of your houses. 20, but bring your youngest brother unto me, so shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. And they did so. And they said one to another, we are very, very guilty concerning our brother. In that we saw the anguish of his soul when he besought us, and we would not hear it. We would not hear. Therefore is this distress come upon us. Now they ain't thinking about what they did to Joseph. They're going back thinking, how he was and how they did him, but they don't know this Joseph who they speaking to right here. Verse 22. And Reuben answered them, saying, speak I not unto you, saying, do not sin against the child, and you would not hear. Therefore, behold, also his blood is required. This Reuben telling them, hey, don't mess with Joseph, but they wouldn't listen to him. They did what they wanted to do. Now, Joseph just, he kind of like torn with him. He ain't ready to let on, hey, I'm still alive. Verse 23, and they knew that Joseph understood them, for he spake unto them by interpreter. Now Joseph being slick, instead of him acting like he know Hebrew, he got an interpreter when he understands Hebrew perfect. He talking to him like he Egyptian. So that further to know they couldn't understand, didn't know that was him, because they know he will understand what they saying. Verse 24, and he turned himself about from them and wept, and returned to them again and communed with them, and took from them Simeon and bound him before their eyes. He was just so overjoyed. They say he wept. Glad to see his brother again. He probably didn't think he'll never see his brothers. So he just took one Simeon and told him to go on back. Then Joseph commanded to fill their sack with corn, and to restore every man's money into his sack, and to give them provision for the way, and thus did he unto them. And this is a brother. They came up to the buy corn, they got ended up getting the corn, and then he gave him his money back. Verse 26. And they ladded their asses with corn and departed thence. And as one of them opened his sack to give his ass provender in the end, he espied his money, for behold, it was in his sack's mouth. And he said unto his brother, my money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And their heart failed them, for they were afraid, saying one to another, what is this that God hath done unto us? They open up his sack to feed his donkey, and he see his money still there. So they were like thinking maybe they forgot to get the money, they get scared because they already know they don't want nobody coming after them or kill Simeon, while they gone, because they they'll cheat, they think they'll cheat them out their money. So that's how they think. So what God done done is to feel like the Most High ain't with them, But verse 29 say, and they came unto Jacob their father unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that befell unto them, saying, verse 30, the man who is the Lord of the land spake roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. And we said unto him, we are true men, we are no spies. And we be 12 brethren, sons of our father. One is not, and the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan. And say, hey, we are 12 brothers, sons of one father, one is not, which is Joseph, and the youngest, that's Benjamin. Verse 33, and the man, the Lord of the country, said unto us, hereby shall I know that ye are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the family of your households, and be gone. And bring your youngest brother unto me. Then shall I know that ye are no spies, that you are true men. So will I deliver you your brother, and ye shall traffic in the land. And it came to pass as they emptied their sacks, that behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when both they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. So they like saying all this money they took up there to buy food. Mm-hmm. Buy food, and they steal, they say. Some kind of brother Joseph is. He could have been sore. He could have been mad. Put them all. He could have had them all put to death, or all thrown in prison. And it was nothing nobody could do. You know. But they're just showing you kind of brother Joseph is. That's brotherhood right there. Even though they did him wrong, he didn't do the same to them because he remembered his dreams. You know. Let me see. Verse 36. And Jacob, their father, said unto them, me have you bereaved of my children. Joseph is not, and Simeon is not. And you would take Benjamin away. All these things are against me. And Reuben spake unto his father, saying, slay my two sons, if I bring him not to thee. Deliver him unto my hand. I will bring him to thee again. And he said, my son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If this shall befall him by the way in which ye go, then shall you bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. So Joseph said, hey, you're gonna make me a miserable old man. You know, you're gonna make these gray hairs I got miserable. You know, if you don't bring my youngest son, because I already done lost one son. Now Simeon gone. Now you want to take Benjamin? You know, you're gonna make me miserable in my old age. Verse chapter 43, verse 1. Genesis chapter 43, verse 1. It reads, and the famine was sore in the land. And it came to pass when they had eaten up the corn which they had brought out of Egypt, the father said unto them, go again, buy some little food. I say, you know that famine bad. They can, you know, they were Israel, really farm. They farmers and cattle men. You know, they couldn't even grow food. So that was a bad famine. Because they used to grow their food, but now they gotta go up in Egypt and buy food. In verse 3, and Judah spake unto him, saying, the man did solemnly protest unto us, saying, you should not see my face except your brother be with you. And if thou wilt send our brother with us, we will go down and buy thee food. But if thou would not send him, we will not go down. For the man said unto us, you should not see my face except your brother be with you. And Israel said, wherefore dealt ye so ill with me, as to tell the man whether you had yet a brother? And they said, the man asked us straightly of our state and of our kindred, saying, is your father yet alive? Have you another brother? And we told him according to the tenor of these words. Could we certainly know that he would say, bring your brother down? And Judah said unto Israel, his father, send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and thou, and also our little ones. And I will be surety for him. Of my hand shalt thou require him, if I bring him not unto thee, and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever. For except we had lingered, surely now we have returned this second time. And the father Israel said unto them, if it must be so now, do this. Take of the best fruits of the land in your vessels, and carry down the man a present, a little balm and a little honey, spices and myrrh and nuts and almonds. whatever, and take double the money in your hand and the money that was brought again in the mouth of your sack and carried in your hand peradventure. It was an oversight. So they like, he telling them, take them a gift, give them some bombs, some honey, some myrrh, from their land. But hey, take double the money this time, just in case it was oversight. So just in case they looked over, you got the money from last time, then you got money this time to buy the food. That's it. Verse 14. He said, verse 13, take also your brother and arise, go again unto the man. And God Almighty give you mercy before the man, that he may send away your other brother. And Benjamin, if I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved. And so let him know, if he lose, he lost his, lose his children, he lose them. That's something he's going to have to deal with. He dealt with Joseph, losing Joseph, he's just going to deal with losing Benjamin and Simeon too. He said, and the men took that present, and they took double money in their hand, and Benjamin, and rose up and went down to Egypt and stood before Joseph. And when Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the ruler of his house, bring these men home and slay and make ready, for these men shall dine with me at noon. 17. And the man did as Joseph bade, and the man brought the men into Joseph's house. And the men were afraid, because they were brought into Joseph's house. And they said, because of the money that was returned in our sacks at the first time, are we brought in, that he may seek occasion against us and fall upon us and take us for by men and our asses. And they came near to the steward of Joseph's house, and they communed with him at the door of the house. And said, oh, sir, we came indeed down at the first time to buy food. And it came to pass, when we came to the end, that we opened our sacks, and behold, every man's money was in the mouth of his sack. Our money is in full weight, and we have brought it again in our hand. And other money have we brought down in our hands to buy food. We cannot tell who put our money in our sack. So he let them know, hey, the money y'all didn't take last time. We also have money this time to buy food. We trying to explain to them, hey, we didn't steal this. We didn't steal it. It was in our sack mouth. We didn't take the money. They thinking, he invited them to the house to do them something. Yeah. So they think he's sitting there, he's gonna deal with them partially. But verse 23, and he said, peace be unto you. Fear not, your God and the God of your father have given you treasure in your sacks. I had your money. And he brought Simeon out unto them. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house and gave them water, and they washed their feet, and he gave them asses, and gave their asses provender. And they made ready the present against Joseph came at noon, for they heard that they should eat bread there. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house, and bowed themselves to him to the earth. And he asked them of their welfare and said, is your father well? The old man of whom you spake, is he yet alive? And they answered the servant, our father is in good health. He is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads and made obeisance. See that dream? And it was he had, when he was about 17 years old, he told them, and they couldn't stand afford, they doing it now. They bowing down to him. It was Joseph and already interpreted way back then. Verse 29. And he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, is this your younger brother of whom you spake unto me? And he said, God be gracious unto thee, my son. And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother. And he sought where to weep. And he entered into his chamber and wept there. And he washed his face and went out and refrained himself and said, set on bread. And they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians which did not eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for this is an abomination unto Egyptians. Right? So this going to show you they even back then they didn't fool with us. It was abomination for Egyptians to eat with a Hebrew. It's pretty much the same way now. Ain't nothing changed. They ain't nothing changed. They can't stand. They couldn't stand us back then. They can't stand us now. Yeah, they couldn't stand us back then. They can't stand us now. Ain't nothing changed. Verse 3, and they sat before him, the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men marveled one at another. And he took and sent messes unto them from before him. But Benjamin's mess was 5 times so much as any of theirs. And they drank and were merry with him. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, fill them, this is chapter 44, verse 1. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, fill the men's sack with food as much as they could carry, and put every man's money in this sack. Verse 2, and put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack's mouth of the youngest, and his corn money. And he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken. Verse 3, as soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away, and they and their asses. And when they were going out of the city, and not yet far off, Joseph said unto the steward, up, follow after the men. When thou dost overtake them, say unto them, wherefore have you rewarded evil for good? Now Joseph had them give them all their corn and stuff, money and everything, but he took one of his cups and put it in Benjamin's bag. It's gonna be like they stole something. Let's see what happened. Is it not that, verse 5, is it not that in which my Lord drinketh, and whereby indeed he divineth, ye have done evil in so doing? And he overtook them, and he spake unto these same words. And they said unto him, wherefore said my Lord these words? God forbid that thy servant should do according to this thing. Behold, the money which we found in our sacks bowels, we brought again unto thee out of the land of Canaan. How then should we steal out of our Lord's house silver or gold? Verse 9, with whom of thy servants it be found, both let him die, and we also will be my Lord's bondsmen. Verse 10, and he said, now let us be according unto your words. He with whom it is found shall be my servant, and you shall be blameless. Then they speedily took down every man his sack to the ground, and opened every man his sack. And he searched and began at the eldest and left at the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. Then they rent their clothes and laid every man his asses and returned to the city. So now they don't need all that searching and found it in Benjamin's sack. And so now they headed back to Egypt. And then they rent their clothes and they were so upset. They were really sad because they see Benjamin they already said that well if they find that cup he's gonna be a bondsman. And verse 15, and Joseph said unto them, what deed is that ye have done? What ye not that such a man as I can certainly divine? And Judah said, what shall we say unto my Lord? What shall we speak? Or how shall we clear ourselves? God hath found out the iniquity of thy servants. Behold, we are my Lord's servants, both we and he, also with whom the cup is found. And he said, God forbid that I should do so with the man in whose hand the cup is found. He shall be my servant. And as for you, get you up in peace unto your father. Then Judah came near unto him and said, O my Lord, let thy servant, I pray thee, speak the word in my Lord's ears, and let not thy anger burn against thy servant, for thou art even as Pharaoh. My Lord asked his servant, saying, have ye a father or a brother? And we said unto my Lord, we have a father, an old man, and a child of his old age, a little one. And his brother is dead. and he alone is left of his mother, and his father loveth him. And thou said unto thy servants, bring him down unto me, that I may set my eyes upon him. And we said unto my Lord, the lad cannot leave his father, for if he should leave his father would die. So he tell him, hey, you asked to bring him down here. He didn't take anything, but you asked to bring him down here. Now you're gonna keep him, and then our father gonna be, gonna die if you take him. So they trying to barter with him, trying to get Benjamin off, not being going to slavery. Him keeping Benjamin. And when verse 23, and thou said unto thy servants, except your youngest brother come down with you, you shall see my face no more. And it came to pass when we came up unto thy servant, my father, we told him the words of my Lord. And our father said, go again and buy us a little food. Verse 26, and we said, we cannot go down if our youngest brother be with us. Then we will go, if our younger brother be with us, then we will go down, for we may not see the man's face except our youngest brother be with us. 27, and thy servant, my father, said unto us, you know that my wife bare me 2 sons, and the one went out from me, and I said, surely he is torn in pieces, and I saw him not since. And you take this also from me, and it shall befall him, you shall bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. So he said, you're gonna make me a miserable old man. If something happened to my youngest boy, this is from a woman I love, He said, now, therefore, when I come to thee, thy servant, my father, and the lad be not with us, seeing that his life is bound up in the last life, it shall come to pass when he seeth that the lad is not with us, that he will die. And thy servant shall bring down the gray hairs of thy servant, our father, with sorrow to the grave. So 2, for thy servant becomes surety for the lad unto my father, saying, if I bring him not unto thee, then I shall bear the blame to my father forever. Now, therefore, I pray thee, let thy servant abide instead of the lad, a bondman to my Lord, and let the lad go up with his brother. So he trying to take Benjamin's place, That's gonna kill my father. He's gonna kill my father if I don't come back with this boy. Just take me, just take me. He said, for how shall I go up to my father and the lad be not with me? Lest peradventure I see the evil that shall come on my father. So I just can't do that. You take me. Don't take don't take Benjamin. It's like, chapter 45, Genesis 45. And 1. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all of them that stood by him. And he cried, because every man to go out from me. And there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brother. So Joseph finally, after hearing all that, he couldn't contain himself no more. He had to let him know, hey, this is me, Joseph, your brother. And he finally let him know, hey, I bet they was in all kind of shock, thinking about back in the days when he was young, how they hated him, because he was their father's favorite. Father made him a coat of many colors, How he used to come up to them, I got a dream, that y'all gonna be bowing down to me and all that, and all that dream came true. It came true. Now they see, he wasn't just, the Lord was with him. Verse 2. And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians at the house of Pharaoh heard. Verse 3. And Joseph said unto his brother, I am Joseph. Does my father yet live? And his brother could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence. So they look at him. He don't look like a Hebrew. He look like an Egyptian. He look like an Egyptian. They couldn't believe, because all this time he been in front of me. They just can't believe this is Joseph. They thought Joseph was gone. They thought they'd never see Joseph again. And verse 4, and Joseph said unto his brother, come near to me, I pray you. And they came near, and he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. Now therefore be not grieved, nor angry with yourself that you sold me hither, for God did send me before you to preserve life. For these 2 years hath the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years in which there shall neither be earing nor harvest. So he let them know, hey, 2 years this famine going on. Listen, now you're going to get into the part where you ain't gonna be able to grow nothing, harvest nothing. You ain't gonna be no food except for where you at. No, in Egypt. That's where the food's at. Verse 7. And God sent me before you to reserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. Verse 8. So now it was not you that sent me hither, but God. And he have made me a father to Pharaoh, and Lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. So he let them know, when you that did that, the Most High did that. You the one put it on your heart to hate me and sell me into Egypt for you show my work through me. I can interpret dreams. Now I'm second only to Pharaoh in the land of Egypt. I'm governor over all the land, over the land that Egypt controls. You see, hey, verse 9, haste ye, and go up to my father, and say unto them, thus saith the Lord, son of Joseph, God hath made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down unto me, tarry not, and thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen, and thou shalt be near unto me, thou and thy children, and thy children's children, and thy flocks, and thy herds, and all that thou hast. And there will I nourish thee, for yet there are 5 years of famine, lest thou and thy household, and all that thou hast, come to poverty. And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, that it is in my mouth that speaketh unto you. And ye shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, of all that ye have seen, and ye shall haste and bring down my father hither. And he said, Judah before him unto Joseph, to direct his face unto Goshen. And they came into the land of Goshen. And that's how, it's like, that's how they end up, how the Hebrews end up getting into Egypt, through Joseph. He sent for his, he's sending for his family right now, And Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to meet Israel, his father, to Goshen, and presented himself unto him. And he fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while. I know that had to been a sweet human, You think you done lost your son, he dead and all that. Come to find out he's alive. He's alive, He's alive and well. And all these years that went past, you done been sad and stuff, thinking your son is gone. He's alive. And Israel said to Joseph, now let me die, since I have seen thy face, because thou art yet alive. And Joseph said unto his brethren, unto his father's house, I will go up and show Pharaoh and say to him, my brother and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are come unto me. 32. And the men are shepherds, for their trade hath been to feed cattle, and they have brought their flocks and their herds and all that they have. And it shall come to pass when Pharaoh shall call you and shall say, what is your occupation? That ye shall say, thy servants' trade have been about cattle from our youth even until now, both we and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptian. So Joseph telling them, hey, if I ever ask you what you do for a living, say you're a shepherd. So the Egyptians don't like dealing with livestock. So so to them that's a lowly job. So he told them, hey, take that job. Just the job this job tell them that you do. So they know. So they can earn good money like that. And we go to verse 47. And then Joseph came and told Pharaoh and said, my father and my brother and their flocks and their herds, all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan, and behold, they are in the land of Goshen. And he took some of his brethren, even the 5 men, and presented them unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren, what is your occupation? And they said unto Pharaoh, thy servants are shepherds, both we and also our fathers. And they said, moreover, unto Pharaoh, for to sojourn in the land are we come, for thy servants have no pasture for the flocks, for the famine is sore in the land of Canaan. Now therefore we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen. Pharaoh spake unto Joseph, saying, thy father, thy brother are come unto thee. Verse 6. And the land of Egypt is for thee, in the best of the land make thy father and thy brother to dwell in the land of Goshen, and let them dwell. And if thou knowest any man of activity among them, then make them rulers over my cattle. See, giving them good jobs, though. As far as that livestock, the Egyptians did not want to fool with no cattle. I guess they hated it. And Joseph brought in Jacob his father and set him before Pharaoh, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to Jacob, how old art thou? And Jacob said unto Pharaoh, the days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not attained unto the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from before Pharaoh. And Joseph placed his father and his brother and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, and the best of the land in the land of Ramesses, and Pharaoh has commanded. And Joseph nourished his father and his brother and all his father's household with bread according to their families. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And when the money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Pharaoh, Joseph, and said, give us bread. Why should we die in thy presence? For the money failed. 16. And Joseph said, give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fail. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for the asses. And he fed them with bread for all their cattle for the year. You see how he did that? Now he traded them bread for their cattle, because it's all his brother and all his people are shepherds. So they get more cattle, give more cattle to graze, to take care of, Verse 18, and when that year was ended, they came unto him the second year and said unto him, we will not hide it from my Lord that our money is spent. My Lord also have our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my Lord, but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land, by us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh. Give us seed that we may live and not die, and the land be not desolate. And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh. For the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's. And as for the people, he removed them to the cities from one end of the borders of Egypt, even unto the other end thereof. Only the land of the priests bought he not, for the priests had a portion assigned them of Pharaoh, and did eat their portion which Pharaoh gave them, wherefore they sold not their lands. Then Joseph said unto the people, behold, I have bought you this day and your land for Pharaoh, though he received for you that you shall sow the land, and it shall come to pass in the increase that you shall give the fifth part unto Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own, for seed of the field, and for your food, and for them of your household, and for food of your little ones. And they said, thou hast saved our lives. Let us find grace in the sight of my Lord, for we will be Pharaoh's servant. So Joseph, he borrowed. He doing collective bargaining on him. You know, he got what, cattle for his people. Then he got land for Pharaoh. You know, that's like he working that family. You know, they coming to him asking food. Hey, you gonna have to give this land this much food, and so they did it. You know, okay. Let's see, verse 26. And Joseph made it a law over the land of Egypt unto this day that Pharaoh should have a fifth part, except the land of the priests only, which came not Pharaoh. Verse 27. And Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt, in the country of Goshen, and they had possessions therein, and grew and multiplied exceedingly. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. So the whole age of Jacob was 147 years. And the time drew nigh that Israel must die, and he called his son Joseph, and said unto him, If now I have found grace in thy sight, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and deal kindly and truly with me. Bury me not, I pray thee, in Egypt. I will lie with my fathers, and thou shalt carry me out of Egypt, and bury me in the burying place. And he said, I will do as thou hast said. And he said, Swear unto me. And he swore unto him, and Israel bowed himself upon his bed's head. You know, and that's Joseph. You know, his time up in Egypt. You know, he ended up being sold, being hated by his brother, being sold into Egypt, going into Egypt and prospered. Most High was with him all the time. You know, he fooled his brothers a little bit. They because he wanted them to see, hey, the dreams, I dreamed they came true. He was bound before me, you know. And then that's what his father saying he was bothered, but but the father, Jacob, he ended up he took heed to him. You know, he didn't quite understand his dream, but he just took heed to him. But Joseph ended up delivering his family from the family and bring him up to Egypt with him. You know, like the Egyptians did not want didn't deal in cattle, so he told them, hey, tell them that you're shepherds. So you can get cattle. So by the time that family got worse and worse, then he was able to get them more cattle because they had all the food up in Egypt. And Joseph ended up saving his whole family. Bring them all, took them all out the land of Canaan, and bring them all up to Egypt. So that's how they got, how you hear, but the Kemetic scholars say, they said the Israelite began in Egypt. So that's that's where they get it from. They take the little pieces of the Bible and throw it into theirs like pretty much everybody else did. Take some of the Bible, take their little paganism stuff and mix it in, which it don't work anyway. Starting out with the true principle of the Most High. That's in the ISUPK. But that's a Sabbath service for the day. Say Elijah was just up here. Shabbat, means to Israel. Prayers. Wapanya. Trying to fix the east. Abanawa. This is the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Wadash. Ayah. Shukah. Yahweh. Alawaka. Aba'ah. Batazaka. Ayah. Ashah. Baratazah. Hawath. Ayah. Bashamayim. Alanawa. Akan. Kal. Yawan. Asalat Lanawa. Kabawath Lanawa. Kasalat Lanawa. Kabawath Yanawa. Wala'ah. Yanawa, Banasayawa, Nabal, Awashanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Naka, Malakwa, Wahala, Malapara, La Wala Young. Amen. English read. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, and we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, forever so be it. Before going to the rest of the prayers, so men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute. So, men of Israel, Almighty Sabbath, Almighty, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakathon, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, Hashem, Barakathon. Star, turn to sisters. We're going to curse the sisters. Men of Israel, Almighty Sabbath, Almighty, Barak, Yahweh, Shema, Bathun, Hashem, Yahushai, Yahushai. Yeah, service. That's dismissed.